Hey folks, welcome back to the Portable Gamer. Welcome back to Farming Simulator 19, and welcome to, I guess this is going to be my first ever mod review. And wow, man, we're jumping in big. This is the SynTrac. This is a mod contest 2019 mod. And having played with it for about half an hour now, I think this is going to win for self-propelled vehicle. And it's going to take a minute for me to tell you about it, but it is very, very cool. Somebody has put a lot of time and effort and love into this thing. Modders, man, they're amazing. They really are. So let's get this up here first off, because there was once upon a time for Mod Contest 2017, there was it was an Italian planter. It was beautiful. Probably one of the most elaborate and functional mods that I've ever seen, and it was an absolute FPS murder machine. Oh, it was terrible. Didn't work very well either. So we'll keep that FPS counter up because we have, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, plus all the attachments. We got 7 of these things up here, and you see we're still doing good on FPS. And in the interest of disclosure, this is the only mod that I have loaded right now, and we are on Felsbrunn, a base map. So let's compare apples to apples. So what is the SynTrac? I thought this was a fantasy vehicle when I first saw it in the mod contest. And it is not. This is a real thing. It's a collaboration between Caterpillar Heavy Industries and several other European agricultural and industrial equipment manufacturers. And what this is all about, essentially, is you've got an agricultural tractor that's used for certain things, and then you've also got a lorry, right? Essentially the front half of what in the US we would call a tractor trailer. And on a farm, at various times you may have need for one or the other, I guess is the best way to say it. So Caterpillar said, what if we combine the two? And instead of buying 2 €250,000 pieces of equipment, pieces of kit, you buy 1 €250,000 piece of kit, and then you buy a $30,000 adapter, right, to make it into the other. Now, I will tell you right off the bat, I have not found a way to hook this up to a trailer, an articulated trailer. There's no fifth wheel back here. There's no kingpin. But I suspect, and there's some other things that are sort of giving that away, I suspect that that will come in time. I have a feeling that the mod maker has some plans for this thing. So what I can tell you is it's, now looking at the front of this right now, compared to what we're used to when we look at a tractor, this looks sort of plain Jane, but there's a reason for that. There is. And I can tell you, I mean, it's not the highest poly mod I've ever seen. And when we take a look inside, when we take a look at the interior, you know, maybe not what we're used to in 2019, but I don't care. It more than makes up for it in other ways. And we've got that great FPS. It's not killing FPS. So everything's a trade-off. I have this in three axle configurations. This is, let's start from this side. This is none, right? This is no goodies on the back. It's just the 3rd axle added. This is fenders and control panels, right? And this is just the panels, no fenders. You can set it up any one of these 3 ways. At the moment, it's got Nokian and Michelin tires available in the store. This is the tractor configuration, right? And we've got it on Michelin's 2 axles, right? Pretty standard so far. Now it does do this, right? We can swap driving direction. Very nice, right? There we go. It's got steering, right? We've got 4-wheel steering. We've got front steering. I'm assuming, yeah, we've got crab steering to the left and to the right, and then back to 4-wheel steering. So far, so good. Seems like a novel, but mostly mainstream tractor. Until it does this. Here we go. So what you've got to do is remove cover, right? Just whatever your key combo is to remove cover. And it's going to pop those covers off. and it's going to squat the tractor. It's going to squat the tractor. It's going to squat the tractor down. And when it does that, we can see back here now, we have these panels exposed. And looks like some PTO, looks like some linkages, looks like a lot of connections, right? And we have one of those front and rear. All right. What do you do with that? Well, you put all this stuff on it. And there are, well, I don't even know the best way to show you all this stuff. Let's just buy some of it. Let's buy some of it, and that could be the simplest way. So I'm just operating from the SynTrac menu because it's the quickest. So let's go with, this is the standard adapter. And I guess this is the sort of the root or the base to go from the SynTrac interface, which is on that side, to what we think of as the standard linkage or 3-point, whatever you want to call it, right over here. Now, the reason I made all those orange is so you can see where one starts and where the other ends. So we'll make these orange as well so you can kind of compare. So we have nothing, right? We have just the panels, and then we have panels and fenders. So let's buy 2 of these. How much money do we have? Plenty of money. Let's buy 2 of these. And I'll show you how these go on there. Right. So now, and you can move the tractor when it's squatted down like that, if you're into that sort of thing. So let's go over here. And this is going to attach just like a regular implement. It does need to be lined up, I've found, pretty precisely. There you go. And you can see now why why you may or may not want fenders. If you were running that standard attacher on the front, maybe you wouldn't want those fenders and control panels. All right, but just for our experiment. All right, so we go back here now. And now when you put the covers back on, it's going to lift the tractor, right? And we are good to go. So we can now attach to this thing any of the implements in the SynTrac store. Very cool. This one, I'll show you this in a second. Let's put a weight on the front. I like weights. Put a weight on the front, and we'll put, I don't know, something on the back. So we do like so, we do like so. And now we have more or less just a regular tractor with front and rear hydraulics. All right. Not exactly squared up there. Now, I can tell you that if we look in the top left corner, our little mini up there, a lot of this stuff is manually controlled. There's really no automatic lift or lower. We can do that, but when we take it back up, it's almost like a silage leveler, where we're still going to need to sort of fine tune it and dial it in there like so. So now, what do we want to put on the back of here? Oh, let's put the, no, because those both go straight in. Let's just put a, here we go. Let's put a subsoiler on the back here. There you go. I like subsoilers. So now, oi! Once again, we need to do a little manual lifting. Now, I suppose you could do that ahead of time, but it's going to be tough to get a muscle memory for that because we're so used to just, you know what I'm saying, hooking up. But that's basically it as a tractor. Very cool. Very cool. But there's more. Oh, there's more. So over here now, we have this set up sort of the same way. Let me lift this front up again. Yeah, it's going to take a while to get in the habit of doing that. Now on the back here, this one I haven't quite figured out yet because this is, they call it a lifter, right? And it's got, you know, as you do, It's also got like so. However, it is, I find that I can't, when I put a tool on it, like if I put pallet forks on it or something, I can't quite get the angle to get it exactly where I want it. So now we do have this one. Yeah, I never did. It's like there's no linkage or pivot here. This is fixed, if that makes sense. So we can't sort of rotate this thing on its, I don't know, it would be the wrist if there were an axis. Oh. Now there are these tension belts, and we can order this thing with no connector at all. So perhaps you can just back this up to a pallet, put it on there. I don't know. This is a big mod, man. It's going to take a long time to get used to it. It really is. Right, so this is the lifter, I guess. This is a FERT spreader. Now this one does not go on the adapter. This goes directly onto the tractor. All right, so that's very cool. And then same thing, we've got, in this case, more like a bull bar up front. And again, these adapters configure it any way you want. Any way you want. And then this one over here, and with being able to switch directions on the steering, I guess it's not as critical, but in this configuration, we have a big weight on the back because we have a telehandler bucket on the front, and this is the Elephant, I think. And once again, this goes straight onto the tractor. It does not require the adapter. It just bolts straight on there. But now when we go up front, right, such as you do. So this is, I wouldn't say this is my new favorite tractor, but this is an absolutely unbelievable mod. And I think it could definitely, I mean, it can fill a lot of roles on a farm. It is 320,000, I think. Right here. Yeah, 320, and then when you kit it out, it goes up to, I think, about 425 for these 3-axle rigs over here. But I actually see a lot of potential for this thing, and I'm considering bringing one of these onto Reisenbeck. We don't need it yet. We're just a tiny little farm. But man, what a cool mod. And as I said, I can easily see this winning because there's a really good MB track. But we've seen MB tracks before. There's that Ford 6810. I love it. Beautiful mod. There is a New Holland. But I'm trying to think for self-propelled vehicles in the mod contest. I'm really not sure what there is that can compete with this. It's a very, very cool mod. And I'm looking forward to bringing it onto a map. As I said, I thought it was a gimmick or a fantasy vehicle. I was all set to ignore it. It's fantastic. Cannot recommend it enough. This is available via the mod contest. It's free. Go ahead and download it. Check it out for yourself. Very, very cool mod. This is the Syn-Trac. Folks, thanks for stopping back to check out The Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Farming Simulator 19, and we'll see you next time. Take care now.